Okay, so welcome back to Fishing Planet, guys. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips, and hopefully, with the help, you guys will go from starting the game off at the very beginning, all the way up until you're catching the biggest fish in the game, like the Wels Catfish. They can grow up to huge sizes, and you'll need some very expensive equipment. So when you very first start the game, you're going to begin at Lone Star Lake. This is a level 2 area in Texas. And by using your D-pad, you can find out the fish that you can catch here. So mainly at the very start, you'll be catching blacktail shiners, bluegill, golden shiners. Occasionally, you'll hook onto like a green or a red ear sunfish. And maybe the odd white crappie as well, which can come in trophy size, and they're very decent for XP when you start the game. At this area, what you want to be looking for is to get to maybe level 4, 5 or 6, like around that sort of area. And then once you leave the lake, you'll want to head to the shop because you're going to have to upgrade your gear. When you're in the shop, you want to get yourself like a little spinning rod or a casting rod. I would personally go with a spinning rod. You can get at level 4, you can pick up the elemental 6'7". Once you've got this rod and you've got everything set up, you can start going for spotted bass. At Lone Star Lake, spotted bass are the best for money, and they'll give you a decent amount of XP too, so that you can carry on leveling. If you need help with anything else like the spotted bass and stuff like that, I've got other videos on the channel to do with this game. There's an entire playlist, and I've done guides on a few different fish types. If there's anything else you want to know, let me know in the comments. But an elemental 6'7" at level 4 is going to be your best bet at Lone Star Lake to start bringing in some money with the spotted bass. When you first start playing this game, you won't need to buy a license because you won't be catching decent fish. You'll mainly be going for the bluegills and the shiners. But when you hit like level 4, 5 or 6, like whichever you feel comfortable, and you have enough money to buy yourself some bass gear, you will need to start buying advanced licenses. For Lone Star Lake, it costs $200 per day. If you go into the licenses, you'll see that mine is unlimited, so I can't go into the option to buy another one. You have to release trophy red ear sunfish, trophy bluegill, and the spotted bass. So when you start fishing for spotted bass, if you hook onto one, it will tell you if you keep it, you're going to receive a fine. The fine at this lake costs 100 credits. But the higher lakes, it will eventually start going up, and you'll see fines of like 25,000 credits and stuff like that. It's insane how much they are, so it's always best to get yourself an advanced license. And the reason I have mine unlimited is because I spent 7 bait coin so that I have a lifetime license, advanced license for this lake. I would definitely recommend picking yourself one of those up because $200 per day is like, it's not a big amount of money, but if you're a low level and you're trying to grind money, saving that $200 per day is going to be very helpful. So if you have 7 bait coins spare, then pick yourself up the unlimited lifetime license. One thing to note on this game is do not travel around often. If we have a look at the different areas on the game, you'll see Mudwater River that costs $1,200 to travel for one day. Then we have stuff like Emerald Lake, that's $23.50. And down here, level 18, you've got the Everglades over in Florida. That's going to cost you $7,500 for one day. That's not a real life day either. The travel cost is an in-game day. The licenses run on real life time. So for one day of fishing, in-game it's 15 minutes per hour of in-game time. So 15 minutes real life time, 1 hour in-game will pass. So you don't get too long. You can extend it whilst you're at the lake or river, and you can also extend it before you go if you fancy like a 3-day trip or something like that. And always when you're fishing, check the weather forecast to see the times when the fish are most active. And remember that certain fish only come out in bigger numbers when it's nighttime, so you might have to set yourself up for some night fishing. And the fast forward time feature in this game is a little bit on the annoying side, because if you fast forward like 6 hours in game, you've got like a half an hour cooldown. If you have premium, it halves that time. You can use Baitcoin to skip the cooldown, but if you're just playing the game to level up, get XP and stuff like that and get money, then you're not going to be fast forwarding very often. So try and go at the right times, and then like if you go for a 3-day trip to Everglades, you would start fishing straight away. When it hits like 9-10 AM, you would skip time until like 5 PM, and then if you want to do night fishing, you can see the times there on screen. But then day 2, you would go and the activity would be best between 11 AM and like 7 PM. But always pay attention to the weather forecast. It's like a chart of the activity of the fish, so the higher you see that bar, the better it is for fishing. Not just that, when you are a very early level, a low level, I would still say 18 is a low level, your keep nets aren't going to be that big. So as soon as I hit level 18, I can then go to the Everglades. If I was to hook onto a fish that was like £20, my keep net currently, I'm not allowed anything over 7.7 pound, and my max weight is like 55. So going for big fish early on isn't advised. Just stick to the grind, get yourself the money and the levels, and then go for the odd trip here and there for a good big fishing session. The best way to earn money and XP at a low level is to travel up to Emerald Lake. Yes, it's going to cost you $23.50, and I believe the advanced license, if we have a quick look, it is going to cost you $600 for one day. And then it'll be 50 Baitcoin if you want to get an unlimited license. But 600 for a day with the 23.50 travel cost, there's $3,000 to go there. So it's an initial cost, like a little bit on the expensive side. But if you have the gear ready and you have the money, it's definitely worth traveling there if you go for the walleye. I've done a video, I think it's how to earn loads of money in XP. That will cover how to catch the walleye on this game. But walleye are probably the best fish in terms of how many bucks you get per pound. So if you're looking to level up and earn some money, definitely go for the walleye at Emerald Lake. It's probably the best thing you can do in this game for early levels. Like later on it's going to be different, but for a start, the walleye are amazing. Don't forget to log in daily so that you can pick up your daily bonus, and eventually after 5 days you will get yourself 1 Baitcoin. If you want to, you can buy a premium account. You'll see next to my XP and stuff at the top, it will say premium and it's greyed out. If you buy yourself a premium account, if you've got the money, like the real life money to buy it, then you will be earning 50% extra XP and bucks whenever you're fishing. As long as you have a premium account, you're getting 50% on top. And I don't think it's too expensive. So that could come in handy, and it could skip a little bit of the grind. Do not, at the start of the game, do not worry about buying Baitcoin. You will earn plenty from challenges. Like if you catch, I think it's like 250 spotted bass or any type of bass, you'll get like 2 Baitcoin. But the amount the challenges actually come in as completed at the start of the game is very often. I've only ever purchased 50 Baitcoin, and that was to buy myself a rod case so that I could take more rods with me when I'm going fishing. But other than that, every Baitcoin that I've had, I've earned from just playing the game. As you get through the levels, they don't come in too often, but you should earn enough to get you through the start of the game. Looking at the premium store just quickly, 50 Baitcoin is £2.50, 100 is £5, and then you can get your premium account for an entire month. It's going to cost you £12.50, for 3 days £3.80, and then it'll cost you £6.70 for a week. Coming into the store for the game now, you will have add-ons for the game that give you different packs. They are a little bit more on the expensive side, but if we go to show all the add-ons and we have a look through, you can get like the Lucky Start pack, you can get the Anniversary pack, which I might actually pick up, and then you get like Deluxe pack, Golden pack. They're a little bit more expensive. But if we have a look at the Anniversary pack just quick, if you want to skip like grinding money to buy gear and stuff, and you just want to be focusing on moving to the better lakes to catch the bigger fish, then one of these bundles might actually help out. The Anniversary pack includes 40,000 credits, so 40,000 bucks for in-game, which will cover like travel costs and licenses and things like that. 20 Baitcoin, which I wouldn't say is good at all, but it would help out. Like if you're wanting to buy shiners to use as bait and you're a low level, that will cost you 7 Baitcoin for 10, I think it is. And then when you eventually move up, like the other day I was going for long-nosed gar and I found out crawfish were handy to catch them. They were quite a good bait. They are 1 Baitcoin per crawfish. So it does get quite expensive for the baits as well. If you're using premium, you can always level up and unlock those premium baits to buy with in-game bucks. But you get 7 days of premium, so you get an entire week. But you also get free registration in the competitions. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. You get 40 storage slots, 2 tackle setup slots. Then you get like rod and reels, you get lures, then you get some equipment. And if you have a look towards the bottom, you get advanced licenses for Alaska, Alberta, Michigan and California. If you look at the Fish Castle XXL Fishnet, you can carry a fish in that net that has a max single fish weight of £110, and you have a total fish weight of £440. So if you was to buy this anniversary pack and you go to catch walleye, you could sit there for a few hours each day. I don't think you would actually fill that net up with walleye at Emerald Lake, because at the end of every single in-game day it automatically sells your fish. But £440 is amazing for if you're going for catfish, long-nosed gar, and then eventually up to the Wels Catfish. I think the biggest that's been caught, at least on the Xbox leaderboards, is £107, so you'd actually be able to keep that in this net. It's a pretty good bundle. I mean, it's a little bit expensive, but if you're looking for bundles and stuff, then come to the in-game store. There are a few different ones you can get. And do not forget, I can't stress this enough, do not forget to buy your advanced license. It's going to keep you out of a lot of trouble with fines and stuff in the game. And you can keep the trophy fish and stuff like that. There's no restrictions to it, and it even lets you go night fishing. On a basic license, you're not allowed to go night fishing. When you are fishing, never ever buy stuff directly from the lake. Always get your stuff from the shop when you are on this world screen. I have seen price differences of like $1,500 because I have a reel called the Feeder Force of 5000 that cost me $58.70, so nearly $6,000. And one of the lakes I travelled to, I had a look in the shop and I noticed that they were selling the Feeder Force of 5000, but when you buy directly from the lake it always costs more. That would have cost me $7,500. So make sure you have every piece of equipment you need for your session before you head to a lake, because the lake and river shops always cost more. Fish on this game come in different rarities. They go from young to common, then up to trophy and unique. The higher the rarity, the more money and XP the fish would be worth. Something I picked up on recently, I don't know if this is a bug within the game, but it can be helpful. If you have paid, let's say for example you've reached all the levels that you want to, you're heading to the Everglades, it costs you $7,500, but you're 45 minutes into your fishing session and, I don't know, your mum calls you for dinner, for example, like just something silly, and you have to leave the game. If you close the game down straight away, so you go straight from the game, you don't leave the lake or anything, you just dashboard it on Xbox, it will keep you at the lake. So when you next load the game back up, you'll be exactly where you left it. So that can save a lot on travel costs and stuff like that. So just remember, if you're at the higher level places, don't leave until your time's up, because it will cost you a lot of money if you're leaving places early. So just dashboard your game, it will save you progress. That I'm hoping has helped a couple of you guys out, because it's definitely been important for me. You have events on this game, as you can see at the top, and they can be very helpful in terms of money. They're not always running, but if we have a look, and some of them require certain levels and stuff, but if we have a look at Teenies in the Night, you will see that it's in Germany at the Baggersee Lake. The registration time is from 6 PM to 7 AM, and then the competition time is 7 AM till 9 AM on the 14th of August, so it starts in 10.5 hours. The rules and restrictions are that you score points by catching any fish under 0.4 kilos. You can use only feeder and float tackle, so it's got some rules and stuff set in there. Your scoring is 1 per fish. The conditions are minimum level 42, so there are some events where you have to be a high level, but if you have a look, the entry fee is $700. So you pay $700, you have to have the license and stuff to go to the lake or the river, but you pay the little entry fee, and if you come first place, you win $59,100 and 10 Baitcoin. You also get a barbless medium spoon from X series, ½ ounce with a 3.0 hook. Even if you come third place and you don't win, you still get 19,700. And then there are other rewards that are distributed between 4th and 10th place, but you can see the prize fund is 173,000, and I believe that's going to go up the more people that enter into it. And that is pretty much it. I receive a lot of messages, like comments on YouTube and messages on Xbox saying you guys enjoy the videos, so I thought I'd bring this to you guys to help you out and give you some tips on how to get through the early levels, start the grind on earning money and stuff. But that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.